I like to have only the best laptops. A couple of years ago, the answer to my dreams and dwindling bank account was the upgradable Alienware Area 51M. I believed all the hype and invested heavily into the top of the range i9 9900K version. I loved the computer, and when the 10th generation chips came out, I was excited and ready for the upgrade. It was at this point I realised that Dell and Alienware had fooled me. I won't say lied, because we're not allowed to call people who deceive liars nowadays. But anyway, it was then I found out that my Alienware wasn't upgradable at all. Don't get me wrong, I love the Alienware and even included it in a film. But a long story short, because of Dell's response to the situation, I promised myself I would never buy from them or Alienware again. I just wanted to say I love my i9 Asus Flow 13, and recently the Republic of Gamers Strix Scar 16 arrived with its i9 13980 processor, and I just wanted to say fuck you Dell and Alienware for deceiving me. You lost a good customer. Great business. In fact, you lost a great customer. I actually somehow have 7 laptops currently in my apartment. I know I have a problem, and I'm sure I don't need them all. I have a couple of IBM work machines which I hate, and I have these 5 seen here in the tests. I use the original Dell Precision Exxon as my workhorse main machine, and it has travelled everywhere with me, all over the world. My wife had the MSI i7-8750, and she dropped it on its corner, marking the aluminium and bending a little the lid corner. Although it functions 100%, I was being lowballed in the second-hand market and decided to keep it and maybe give it to a friend or relation in need, rather than accept a price much less than it's worth. My wife wanted a larger screen after seeing just how good the Dell Precision screen was, so she bought the 17-inch MSI i7 10th Gen, the 10750. I bought the Asus Flow 13 for use on my travels making 360 films. The Dell Precision 7750 is still a magnificent machine and is on a par with the i9 12900 Flow, if not better in some instances. It feels quicker and more powerful, and I was a long way off considering an upgrade to it. However, recently I had a near tragic instance where I dropped the Dell, breaking the hinge, causing damage to the 4K screen, and also making the fan rub against something metal inside. At the time, the Dell was possibly the most expensive laptop ever to go on sale. Anyway, this gave me the excuse to splurge on the Republic of Gamers Strix Scar 16. I had an idea which computer would be the fastest, and I completed 3 tests to challenge them. On the whole, the results were as expected, but in the final test there was, in my mind, a completely unexpected result. The first shootout was a straightforward Premiere Pro render of a film I now have on my YouTube channel on the problem with US sports. And believe you me, there are plenty of problems with US sports. Although it was straightforward, the size of the files involved in the project were 13.4 gigabytes, and the film contained plenty of animation. You can see the specifications of each machine as they race to render the film the quickest. All machines are using their dedicated graphic cards set to high performance. The setup of each project was exactly the same on all the machines. The results, I think, were to be expected, and if they were anything else, I think I will be saying goodbye to the Asus machines already. The clear winner with the fastest time of 2 minutes exactly 0.13 of a second was the Strix Scar 16. Second at 147% of the time, in 2 minutes 57.18, was the Flow 13, that's the i9. Closely followed, and very closely followed, by the Dell Precision 7750 in 2:58.01, or 148% of the winning time. I quickly realised there was going to be little or no upsets in this round, and the MSI 17M was fourth with a time of 3:25.29, equaling 170%. And the P65 creator eventually rendered the film in 4 minutes 24.04. That's 220% of the Strix Scar time. I saw little point in taking the 2 MSIs forward, and so the top 3 went on to round 2 and the active tracking. This is tracking me in an Insta360 film on the Insta360 Studio software. These types of files are extremely large, maybe 20 gigabytes each, and when the active track is happening, you get a sense of the speed of the track by listening to the sound. The fastest tracking made my voice sound almost normal. On the slower computers, you can hear the difference. The slurred speech. The clear winner in this test once again was the Strix Scar 16. It tracked the film almost in real time with a time of 1 minute and 7 seconds. Second was the Flow in 1 minute 51.13, which equates to 165% of the winning time, the fastest time. And bronze went again to the Precision. I was surprised by how comparatively slow this was at 200% of the winning time, finishing in 2 minutes 14.18. The final test was the most challenging, and that was rendering out the file at 200 bitrate into a finished 4K 3840 by 2160 film. And this is where we saw the shock result. I thought the Strix would clean sweep the tests, but the winner in this was the Dell Precision 7750 Xeon in a time of 27.13 seconds. It absolutely ripped through the challenge. The Strix took 39.24 seconds, and the Flow really quite struggled in third place at 2 minutes 36.18, which is 577% of the winning time. Having seen the results of the first two tests, with the two Asus coming first and second, I honestly thought I would see the same in the final. But as I said before, I was quite surprised with the final test results. The Xeon smashed the test out of the park, and this confirmed my feeling of it outperforming the Flow i9 12900 at times. I found the testing quite interesting, and although it didn't win the final challenge, I'm really looking forward to using the Republic of Gamers Strix for some time soon. The Xeon Dell 7750 is not being put out to pasture, but will become the home office-based machine, and certainly no more dropping it on the floor and near total destruction for it. Hey listen, thanks for watching, and let me know why the Xeon is still so good and able to beat the latest i9 13th generation processors in some instances. If you like laptops, you should like this film. And if you love laptops and sports, you really should subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching again, and check out some of my other films. Bye.